What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. And unfortunately, we picked the wrong prop, or we would have had a winning day. We had a losing day. LeBron James scores 11 points. We bet LeBron James to go over 15.5. Instead, LeBron had a double-double. He was awesome passing the basketball, and the Lakers looked tremendous in LeBron's first game back. Luka looked great. Lakers win, and the Lakers have been pretty hot here early. The Pistons won their 11th game in a row. That was the bet we got right. 3-2 final in overtime for Toronto and St. Louis, and now it's back-to-back games for the Maple Leafs to go under, so that over train has stopped for the Maple Leafs. 1-2 day, down 1.4 units on the day. So I got 3 bets for us, plus a 4th extra Hard Rock bet of the day play for you guys. I have 2 college basketball bets that I'm getting involved with. I have 1 play in college football, and I have 1 play in the NHL. I'm going to take a break from the NBA for today. We'll look to the NFL coming up tomorrow on Thursday, and then get into some college football on Friday and Saturday, heading into another Sunday weekend. So a lot of good things to get into on the program coming up here for today. Hard Rock Bet is the presenting sponsor of this podcast, but our friends at Omaha Steaks are back again, and they want to talk to you guys about what is going on for this holiday season. Well, you guys know Omaha Steaks has been with us for a while. They've been a great sponsor of the Daily Juice Podcast. I am a big entertainer. I'm a big cooker when it comes to the times around the holidays. And this is an awesome time to have something in the freezer that when family comes over, you can make a meal, great meals, easy with Omaha Steaks. It is convenient to have this in your freezer. It's convenient to have it around. 1, it tastes great. 2, you can make so many different meals with the awesome steaks and burgers and other things they have available for you this holiday season. It's holiday magic made easy. If you place your orders by 6 p.m. Eastern, it ships the same day. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety. Every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917, and right now, save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use the promo code JUICE at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com with the code JUICE to save big this holiday season. Check out omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale, and use the code JUICE at checkout for an extra $35 off. Okay, let's talk about tonight's Maction game. I should have been involved with UMass last night. That was my bet on that. I should have bet UMass. UMass is 0-11, and they are so bad. I mean, they're just so bad. Ohio wrecked them 42-14. Just an awful season for the UMass Minutemen. Why they keep on playing D1 or FBS football, I have no idea, but they want to keep playing it, so, make some money at it. Kent is at home against Central Michigan. Central is laying 8.5 points here in Maction. I don't want to look at the total or the side, but rather the total in this game. So CMU is 7-3 to the over, and the last 3 games have gone over. In fact, 4 of the last 5 games have gone over for Central. Kent is 5-5, so they're flat, but their last game did go over. They're 1-3 at home, but their last home game against Bowling Green went under by 2.5 points, so it just missed. Their last game against Akron went over by 28.5 points. They won the game 42-35. For Central, they were at home against Buffalo. Game went over by 12. Against Western, the game went over by 2.5. And against UMass, the game went over by 5. It's wild. These teams haven't played for a while. Last time they played head-to-head in the regular season was back in November of 21. But 6 games played, the last 6 times these two teams have played, the over has hit in every game. Central, as I mentioned, has been on a bit of a run here to the over. They scored 38 points against Buffalo, Western Michigan's total was 42.5. They scored 21. They lost 24-21, but the game did go over. They scored 38 points against UMass, and the game went over. 46.5 was the total, and the game went over. I think we see offense here. I think both teams are comparable, or have competent offenses. I think we see a little more tempo than what people are going to think, and a little less defense. I think Central goes up there and puts up a number here and really has a chance to put some big points up on the board against a Kent State defense that's not very good. They're averaging giving up 36.3 points per game. That's 127th in college football. Their offense for Kent is only scoring 20 points per game, but that's all we need. If they get 20, you got to figure that Central is going to score, somewhere in the neighborhood of 28 points at minimum here tonight, and that could probably, I guess we need them to score 29 points here, total being 49. We just need 29-20, and we hit we get a push. So we want a little more offense, 30-20, and we go over. I think Central can score 30. I think Kent can put some numbers up here on a CMU defense that is pretty good against the run, but they're not amazing against the pass. They're good. They're not amazing. I think that you'll see be able to some offense. Kent throws the ball 7.9 yards per pass play, so they've been competent there. They throw the ball for about 200 yards per game, inside the top 100 going with that. And they pass the ball about 25, 26 times per game, so they'll test this CMU defense. They're not going to run on them all that much. They got a pretty good rush defense for CMU, and Kent can't run the ball anyway. 2.6 yards per rush. They're not great at it, but they can throw. So hopefully some big plays in the passing game, some turnovers and easy points. Let's go over Central Michigan and Kent State. We're going to play the over here, over 49 for 1.1 units. To hockey, and the Boston Bruins on the road against Anaheim. The Bruins and Anaheim, you can play the gift goal in the first 10 minutes, or you can play the over 1.5 goals in the first period. The Boston Bruins, 70% of the time this season, they have hit an over in the first period, over 1.5 goals. For a goal in the first 10 minutes, even better, 75% of the time for the Boston Bruins, 15 of 20. That does not include last night's game for the Bruins. Let me look at that real quick here for what happened with Boston for the Bruins. Oh, it does. It does include, sorry, it was 2 nights ago. So that does include the game 2 nights ago. So that number's accurate. 15 of 20 for the Boston Bruins, 14 of 20 for a first period over. For Anaheim, they are 12 and 18 at 66.6% to a first period over. For a gift, they are 13 of 18. That's 72% for a goal in the first 10 minutes. I just think we see offense here. The total is 6.5. A 1-1 score after one is, I think, very, very likely given what we've seen here with the Bruins defensively, how wide open Boston has played. Anaheim 7-5 winners in the first game between these two teams. We saw 12 goals being scored between these two teams. It was 1-1 after one, and then Anaheim scored 4 goals in the third period at Boston to win the game 7-5. I don't think we're going to see that level of scoring, but I do think we're going to see offense pretty fast here. In the first matchup, the Bruins scored 2.5 minutes in, and then Anaheim countered 8 minutes into the first period, so it happened pretty fast. I don't really care who's in net for either team, whether it be Swayman or Corpusalo. Dostal's been pretty good for Anaheim with a 2.08 goals against average, but he's given up goals early. Bruins get 1. Anaheim gets 1. Let's go ahead and bet the over first period 1.5. You can bet the gift if you want, or you can bet goal in the first 5 minutes. That would hit both goal in the first 5 and goal in the first 10. One of our favorite listeners and viewers, Addison, calls that a Santa. If you want to go with a Santa play, you can do that as well. But I'm going to take the safer route here and just take the full period over 1.5 goals for Anaheim and Boston at minus 135 for 1.35 units. And then in college basketball, where I have been iced. I got 2 plays, but I'm going to go a little differently than what I have in the past, okay? I'm going to try a couple of skill shots because I do think it's a decent play. Let's talk UConn and Arizona, okay? How about this? Arizona has gotten off to very slow starts in their games, okay? Arizona beat Florida, okay? They won by 6 as 3.5-point dogs. They beat UCLA by 4 in their last game as 1.5-point favorites. But if you look at the way they've played, they have trailed early in every game they have played so far, including Utah Tech and Northern Arizona. They have trailed in the first half in those games. They were down 12 to Florida early, and then they rallied. They had UCLA. They were down by 3 to UCLA in the first half. And this is at UConn, where UConn has won 36 straight non-conference home games. Okay, this is not in Boston where they just beat BYU. UConn didn't cover, but they beat BYU. I think this is going to be a first half in which we see UConn jump on Arizona early. They use the very raucous environment that they're going to have here from their home crowd. And I think UConn's weapons comes out of the gate blazing here. UConn is one of the top scoring teams in college basketball in the first half. And it's kind of wild to look at it. UConn has been very effective early scoring. In fact, in the last 3 games, UConn is averaging 52.3 points in the first half. This year, they're averaging 48.5 points. That is 9th best in college basketball. And you look at Arizona, you got to scroll way down on the list in terms of offense to find Arizona as to what they have done and where they have gone this year offensively. For a team as talented as they are, they really tend to rally in the second half. They're not a team that's going to blow your doors off right away. And I think when you're playing UConn on the road in Connecticut, you better be ready from the jump here. The number is 3.5 for UConn. I'm going to take UConn minus 3.5. You got an Arizona team that is 62nd in first half scoring. They've averaged 42 points per in the first half. They scored 28 points against UCLA in their last game. That was UCLA's defense in the way that Mick Cronin teams play. But still, they didn't score a ton in the first half against UCLA either in their last game. I got UConn laying 3.5 points here. I'm going to lay it in the first half. UConn minus 3.5 in the first half up against Arizona here in college basketball for 1.1 units. Hard Rock Bet's got that bet for you coming up here for tonight. And speaking of Hard Rock Bet, it is time for the Hard Rock Bet play of the day being presented by Hard Rock Bet. What am I doing? Well, so I'm 3-1 so far with the Hard Rock Bets. I'm going to go back to the first ever Hard Rock Bet we made, and that was the Creighton Blue Jays in the first half. Team total for the Creighton Blue Jays in the first half. The Jays are taking on North Dakota, okay? This is a really interesting matchup for a variety of reasons, but the Creighton Blue Jays are coached by Greg McDermott. Greg McDermott once coached again at North Dakota, to get his start. They used to be called the Fighting Sioux. Now they're called the Fighting Hawks. This is a familiarity game here, and the Jays have shot the ball horrifically so far here in this season. There's a lot of questions about this team as they head to play Baylor and Iowa State in the Players era here in Las Vegas. 45.5 is the Creighton Blue Jays first half team total. I think they come out and hit a bunch of shots early here tonight because this is a team they should dominate. This is a team that they should score a ton of points against. Their team total is 91.5. That's too high for the game because it should get away from North Dakota. The number is 25.5 at the moment. But I'm going to go team total. Creighton Blue Jays, team total in the first half, 45.5, and bet the over for the Jays to score at least 46 points here against North Dakota. KenPom has this as a 90-point performance for the Creighton Blue Jays. And look, Creighton hasn't scored a ton in the first half. They've shot the ball really poorly as to what you would expect out of a Jays team to come out and how many three-point shots. They're only averaging 41 points in the first half. Okay, so I'm not saying there's a lot of numbers to back this up. I just think when you're looking at Baylor on deck, the Jays know they need to be locked in. They know they've got to be focused, and they've got to be able to hit their threes. This is an offense built on hitting threes, and the Jays have shot really poorly from behind the arc. I think against North Dakota tonight, they'll get open looks, and they'll bury them early. Team total, Creighton Blue Jays, over 45.5 in the first half. Team total for the Jays here for our Hard Rock Bet of the day. Hard Rock Bet is the presenting sponsor of the Daily Juice podcast. Pro football, college football, NBA, and college hoops and more all going on right now. You guys know about the $5 bet. If it hits, you get the winnings plus $150 in extra bonus bets. Hard Rock Bet's got the Stats Hub as well with trends, streaks, and stats. Hard Rock Bet is the only app legal in the state of Florida, but it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. Hard Rock Bet offers new promos every single day, so go and download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. So, once again, our bets for us here today, we're going CMU and KSU over 49 for 1.1 units. Bruins and the Ducks over in the first period, 1.5 goals at minus 135. UConn in the first half against Arizona in a big game in college basketball. Connecticut laying 3.5 points in the first half against Arizona. And the Hard Rock bet of the day is the Creighton Blue Jays first half team total over 45.5 at minus 104. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.